Hi guys, it's Majemo for the second video about the debates. And first, before starters, I wanted to apologize for taking like 2 months to do another video. Let's say it's just because of the holiday. So I'm here with Wake Mad
Hello.
and Craft Hip Hop,
Hey, motherfuckers.
Zintars,
Hello, you can call me Manbat.
Manbat, alright, and Ariel.
Hey.
From last time, Ariel from Brazil, Dintars from Latvia, Kraft is from France, and Wakemad is from Germany. So we have now a bigger scale.
Yeah,
for
we're
the-
pretty multiculturalist, like.
Very international podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So today we're not going to speak about Syndicate, we're not going to speak about Assassin's Creed the movie, even if we all very hyped. We're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Rogue. And I think everyone liked AC Rogue here.
Yes.
I'd say so.
Partially.
Alright, so the thing is because so the first podcast was about Black Flag, so the sequel is of course Assassin's Creed Rogue. It's I wanted to talk about AC Rogue because I think like AC Unity dragged way too much attention, but Rogue was like sneaking his way to the hearts of the fans, and it turned out to be an awesome game. But if we can review the game, it's only Black Flag 1.5. Well, we can say that. So we're going to discuss that. So who wants to start to say why you like or dislike the AC Rogue?
Okay, could I start? Yeah, okay. So, I like Assassin's Creed Rogue. It's one of my favorites, and I will like it many Assassin's Creed after it. But mainly I like it because it's about the Templars. It's about the guys versus assassins. Assassins versus Templars. And we all the time play as the Templar, as the assassins. And now we play as the Templar. Right?
Yeah.
So it's the way the Ubisoft gives us this taste of the Templar deeds and Templar this whole crusade of against the assassins, and that's the main thing I like about it.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a new perspective, what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's right.
What I liked about it is like when you play as assassins, the assassins is always on the bad side. Not that they're evil, but I mean they're not winning. So the Templars are ahead on something, and this time around on Rogue, the assassins are ahead, and then the Templars are trying to catch up with them. So I thought it was a nice catch because they say that in the history, assassins and Templars were fighting, and one times the assassins would win and the Templars would win. But until now, we saw that assassins won, but the Templars were always ahead. It felt like the Templars were winning all the time, and you needed this savior to come and turn the table,
Yeah.
turn the game. But
Yeah.
not on Rogue.
Yeah, can I go on? So,
Yeah.
like, Assassin's Creed Rogue, I had pretty mixed feelings about it because on one side you've got some technical problems that weren't present in Black Flag, and even on Unity actually, but like the polarizing story when it actually narrates the story from the perspective of Templar was really interesting because we got to criticize some of the stuff that assassins do. I mean, assassins aren't perfect, neither are Templars, so it gets to I guess it gets to portray the story from a critical point of view for the first time of the series, and that actually what made it even more interesting for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much why I like the game.
Yeah, I thought from story-wise perspective, it was really great, like playing as his Templar and experience this whole Templar life. But I thought like gameplay-wise, it just felt like you're an assassin, like because you just climb around the city and do all this stuff. But I
Yeah,
think story-wise, it really nailed it. Like it was really
yeah.
perfect and not too stretched out. Like it was short and compact, but really awesome.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can criticize that. I mean, in terms of gameplay, it wasn't that different, I guess. Like Majimo said earlier, it was like kind of some kind of a patch for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but the story really nailed it in terms of critical approach to this Assassins versus Templar conflict.
Well, if we can go back on what you said about the story, we'll go back on the gameplay afterwards. But the story, I'd like to point out the fact that sure we can criticize what the assassins do, but isn't that a problem that in that particular story, the assassins are the bad guys? I mean, it's not a game that criticizes the entire franchise; it criticizes only the portion of that period of the assassins, and I think that was a problem that the assassin. I mean, it's Achilles that not become insane, but he's not aware of his actions, and so the game lacked that criticized of the whole franchise. It was very closed. It's not a very open-minded game. Like, okay, Templars are right. It's just that, okay, so in that period, the Templars were the good guys, and I think that was a problem. The story didn't really. They just they swept the role. They inverted the roles, and I think they could have gone further in that direction. Like, really, just like they did in the beginning of Assassin's Creed 3, where when we played Haytham, you thought you were an assassin, and when we got to the end of the third sequence, it was like, oh my god, but he's a Templar, and I think it's one of the thing that failed in AC Rogue, that you are a Templar, but it's like you're just being an assassin, storyline speaking.
Yeah. Well,
Shay is an assassin first, so it's not something like out of context for him to do, because he was an assassin before he was a Templar.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
So that, but the assassin changed their mind. The assassin goal was to bring peace to the world. I mean, bring freedom mostly. But with collecting those items in the temples, those artifacts, they were well, taking the risk of killing people, taking lives, and so the Shay realized that the Templars' goal was more, I don't know, noble. But
I mean, my main problem with this, I mean, it's just my only complaint with the game, is that they tried to criticize the assassins in that era, but they did it like the Templars were just a copy-paste of the assassins, just following the same methods, the same killing, the same parkour, the same everything, in a quest of trying to kill the assassins. Like, the assassins were really trying to do something absolutely mind-blowing in terms of their goals and their principles. Like, their principles is trying to make the people free and something. Like, how can you make the people free when you kill an entire city? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, maybe Achille was kind of crazy or something. He wasn't really cognizant of the stuff he was doing. But it felt like kind of Ubisoft was trying to make the assassins evil in order to give some credibility to the Templars. That's what it felt like.
exactly.
I could create a formula for this entire sentence what you said. Like, assassins are trying to make freedom for people through chaos, through nothing is true, everything is permitted, but Templars make freedom through the control, through
through order and stuff.
Yeah, through all this stuff what they are trying to achieve, and assassins just ruin their plans, and this go on, and they can't agree on peace.
Yes, but it's also about the main goal. I mean, in Rogue, the assassins were only about the pursuit of knowledge, because they don't need those artifacts to save people, to make them free. It was only for knowledge. They also wanted to control those temples. They say, oh, we have those who came before, and we have to know them, to understand them. And the Templars said, okay, we just need to save the world. We don't need those temples. So that's the assassins felt like stupid in that period.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of never understood that. So go ahead, Wakeham.
I just wanted to say, like, I thought it was really crazy that these gangs of New York are like, they seem so evil, and I just can't believe that the assassins would let those people rule New York. It kind of seems like they were sleeping and didn't see
And actually,
everything.
Ubisoft actually cheated because they're not assassins. They're I don't know which term they used in the English version of the game, but they're supposed to be bandits. They're not
Yeah,
assassins.
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
gangs, but they are under the
Yeah.
control of the assassins. Like,
Yes.
they work strictly with them, and I think it kind of seems like
Like-
not very to like when you're an assassin, you just don't watch over those people who rule the city, and I mean they even go to civilians in the houses and like try to get money from them, and it's really crazy.
The thing is that this game came right after Black Flag, and in Black Flag the assassins are pirates. So we could have that sequel that okay, so assassins were pirates. So when you're in the sea, that when you have pirates, it's the assassins, and it makes sense because assassins were pirates, and also in the city or in the outpost, they've been taken by assassins. So, well, it's maybe cheating, but I don't know. They kind of nailed that.
Hey, can I just make two comments here? First,
Okay,
someone
go
said
ahead.
that the Templars want freedom through control, and just clarify, Assassins and Templars, they want peace, not freedom. Assassins want freedom, and Templars want control, but they both want peace, not freedom.
Yeah, they wanted
And-
peace before Altair, and then the assassins wanted freedom. But at first they wanted peace, both.
Yeah, their
No,
goals
they
kind
still
of
want
changed.
peace, but it's just how they achieve it. But okay.
Yeah, the
And you
difference
said,
is
Majimo, that assassins were pirates in Black Flag, and no, Edward was a pirate. But
I mean, it was
they
partially
they were,
true.
They were natives.
Yeah, the
Remember-
natives were the pirates, but we can see in Rogue that the natives are becomes Shay's allies, and except from what's his name? I don't remember the native assassin name in Rogue.
Kisegawase.
Kasegawase, yeah. But
I was just making a correction. That's all.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's,
I mean,
I want
I
to
kind
kind
of,
of
I kind of understand where Majima is coming from because he's saying that in Black Flag we had a clear distinction between who's the assassin and who's the Templar, and in Rogue we kind of got the assassins who are kind of bandits and gangstered hired by assassins. Like when did assassins get to this kind of low level in hiring gangsters to do their own dirty work? And like it became absolutely mind-boggling when we're seeing assassins constraining the people in a quest to get peace through freedom by doing what actually the Templars are doing. So it seems like
Well,
like
one
the
of the
Templars are fighting the
explanations-
Templars.
One of the
Like-
explanations of using gangs, we might see on Syndicate, because they are also using gangs.
well, and if you think about
Ah.
it,
It's kind of shallow.
even well, we can think about that the Templars were using gangsters, but actually the assassins
Yeah, in
always
Brotherhood.
used thieves, mercenaries, the prostitutes back from AC2. So the thing is, and I said it because when I played AC2 for the first time, I thought, okay, so the assassins are like a mafia. They control the prostitutes, the thieves, and the mercenaries. It's a mafia, but they're making you feel like you're the good guy. But so, they had to flip the script to to make you feel that the assassins are the bad guys, but they were already the bad guys in the previous game. If you just put yourself in the Templar side.
I wouldn't say that. I think that the leaders of these groups, like La Volpe was an assassin and Bartolomeo was an assassin. Like they controlled what these groups were doing, and
And
they all
Machiavelli
were
also.
held together by these groups of assassins. So I didn't think like they
But
were.
they were still thieves.
Yeah, of course.
So there is this mission in the Assassin's Creed Revelation where you with Ezio, and so Sophia gets robbed, and you catching the thief and you're like, okay, don't rob, it's wrong, And the next mission is about saving a thief. He's in a cage, and you save him to, I don't know, to cross the, I think, to go to the other side of the city. And it felt so stupid, because so you say to one guy that stealing is wrong, and on the other side you control the thieves of the city. So it felt so wrong, and at that point I said, okay, so they don't know how to make a good guy who wants to control everything and wants to feel free everywhere.
I mean, I kind of have better words with this. It seems like Ubisoft doesn't have a good direction of what the morality of an assassin should be. So sometimes he's telling people not to steal, and sometimes he's saving the people who steal for his own benefit. And like, I mean, I understand assassins when they use thieves and prostitutes for their own needs, when they're trying to kick off like a governor or something. I mean, it's at least for some kind of a goal. But in Assassin's Creed Rogue, it kind of felt unjustified. I can't help but feel like in Rogue they had to force this kind of bad mentality on assassins. I mean, that's just my opinion.
And control people. They're not supposed to control
What I
people.
wanted to say,
Yeah.
what I wanted to say about these thieves things, these prostitutes things. Well, it's all about control. Not just control, not just everything, but you have to get friends in all places. When you get friends in all places, you kind of get information from all sides. And when assassins do the things, the assassinations, like in first Assassin's Creed, you have to do pickpocketing, eavesdropping, and so on. But in next Assassin's Creed, it kind of improves, and in Assassin's Creed Rogue, I think it went on, and well, the Templars are kind of doing the same thing, but assassins, they are like prostitutes, use information from their clients, and thieves are collecting information from people they're stealing from, and so on. So I think it's good to have friends in all places.
Yeah, I really think so too.
Just something you were saying about the assassins being evil in this game. When you first mentioned that, one thing came to mind, and it would be weird for me to say this now, but we all, I hope so, but we all watched the first trilogy of Star Wars, the prequel, and you know how they say that the chosen one will come to bring equilibrium, or something like that, and it wasn't for them to destroy the Sith, but for the Sith to rise again. And I was just saying, Assassin's Creed doesn't have like the right side, the good and the bad side. They're just always together, and they're always fighting. And sometimes some will win, and other times the other will win.
But one side is stupid and the other is smart. But
Yeah.
that's the way, because
At
when
times.
you're playing AC3 and you play Connor and you feel stupid, every assassination I felt more stupid. And I felt so smart when I played Atham. So I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, Hatham seemed like he kind of had a plan, and Connor would just go in with his own
Oh, yeah.
instincts. Yeah.
every time
Definitely.
you kill a Templar, it's like, oh, you're so stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about Connor because honestly, that was a really bad character.
No, I don't think so. I think just the pacing was bad. Like if you play the homestead missions, you kind of grow.
I did 100%, and it was just like, I'm not saying it's a bad character. I'm saying the way they did it was a bad character. I mean, it had a lot of potential, but didn't quite get it.
In my opinion, they should have made Assassin's Creed 3 longer. I mean, we should have played Connor for a longer time in order to know him very well.
Yes.
And Haven
Yeah.
showed her.
There's going to be a video on this channel about AC3 coming, and we'll talk about that. But about that Alex Hutchinson, the director, he wanted to do more missions with Connor, but the game was already quite long, so they cut it out. I don't know, but
That would have been a good idea.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and they
Talking
cut out the
about
monument
the-
at the end.
The director's idea. Did you hear the interview with Nolan North? About
Yes.
that one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So disturbing.
I think,
Oh my
I think it
God.
was on the channel, right? I think that's where
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that was incredible, man. When I saw that, I was like, why
No,
did
like,
you stop
it's
it?
actually
Why
quite
did you kill
obvious.
him?
when you see what Desilets is building, like with Panache Digital Games, it's quite
Oh yeah,
obvious that he's
Yeah.
doing his last game. What was well,
oh yeah, I didn't think
I
of
can't-
that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
still
can't-
buying that game too.
Ancestors, yeah.
Yeah, Ancestors, yeah. That was it. But the story was so interesting. Like, it seemed. Oh my god. Like, if they actually developed the Assassin's Creed games based on that, oh my god, I would have flipped out. That was.
Yes,
That was
because
the shit.
I agree with the fact that Desmond was not an interesting character, but the modern day story was a very interesting setting. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
and
Yes,
it kept
absolutely.
all the games
honestly,
together.
for me, I think I said that in the other podcast. For me, the modern day is the best part of the game. Yeah, like at least story wise, and not for me. Desmond was a great character in my opinion.
Yes,
So like
absolutely.
he was just a guy that knew nothing about, and suddenly he sees himself dragged into this whole world he was always into, but never actually saw it. And
Yeah.
I just think that's great, a great setting.
But if you listen to Nolan North, he's like, okay, he's not the guy you want to follow. The guy you want to follow is Altair and Ezio. Desmond, he's just like an intermediate, but why not? I mean, he's a good idea, but they didn't have to end like
Yeah, I
that.
think everyone hated Desmond because AC won, like, because the story with Altair was so amazing, and then you get dragged out of the Animus and you just can walk very slowly, and there's only Vidic giving
No,
philosophies.
that's my favorite part of Desmond.
But okay,
Yeah.
if I can, if we return to Shay, and if we speak about Shay, there was a scene, there was in the end of one sequence where he returns when he's kind of in Portugal, but when Portugal gets this earthquake, and when thousand of people die because of this artifact, and when this sailor says, "How could God do this to them?" Shay says against the sailor, God had nothing to do with it. But now we can think, if we speak about the ancestors in Assassin's Creed, maybe it's a stuff the ancestors created, but not God. You know, the point is that yeah.
Just to comment on what you said, I mean, that's the usual blasphemy in video games, like, God, I thank you, and he says, like, God had nothing to do with this. I mean, I've heard this 1,000 times in video games. But, like, yeah, in a sense, you can say the precursors are gods. In a sense. Not completely. I mean,
think
they're
all of
they're not the
which
creators
ones
of the
is-
universe, but they created humans, so...
I think that this particular sentence is only to point out that Shay blames directly the assassins.
Yeah, it must be.
And also,
Even-
it's
even if he's
cultural. Like,
wrong.
it's to make the game a little more in depth. Like, Portugal, like being Brazilian, I know this stuff. It has a lot of religious influence, and you know how Portugal and Spain, they would have a lot of, oh, something bad happened, it's God, it's God, and it's just
Yeah.
it's more like that. I don't think they made it thinking of anything else, just cultural stuff.
Yeah, it might have been that. I mean, to go back to the modern day story, I guess this one for me was the kind of the purpose of the series. So when I was playing Assassin's Creed, I was thinking maybe in the present I can finally beat the Templars and do what I got to do from there. Like when they killed off Desmond, I mean, I hoping I'm not spoiling anyone, because if you're watching this show, you should be a hardcore fan of Assassin's Creed. When they killed off Desmond, I was just like, so why am I exactly playing Assassin's Creed for? I mean, apart from visiting historical places, I mean, the purpose is gone for me.
Yeah, but I think they Marc Alessicote, the creative director of Syndicate, told in this interview that that was the Desmond cycle, and I think 4, Rogue, and Unity were like the transition to the new cycle. I mean, they could just have said that because they know a lot of fans love the modern
Yeah,
day story, and
they're pretty
they want
angry.
them to buy Syndicate and are getting hyped for it. But it kind of felt to me like when I first started Black Flag, and you wake up out of the Animus in Abstergo Entertainment, and there's like Melanie LeMay. I was like, what is this? Because
Yeah,
it
the
just
first person
felt so
view.
goofy, and it felt like
Well, about that,
transition.
when they killed off Desmond, actually, when I finished Assassin's Creed 3, I was like, no, he didn't die. No, that was just a flash. He didn't die.
Well,
But that's what I like. I kept thinking that until Black Flag came out. And I think that system that they implemented of you being yourself in Mysterio.
Yeah,
I think
that's
would
some
be,
bullshit right
yeah, okay. I
No,
think
no,
we all
no,
hate it, right?
well, wait. I'm not saying I hated it,
I hated it.
but in my opinion, it's perfect for Rogue.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
his Rogue is not the main focus of the series. Like, it was together with Unity, and Unity was a focus, and Rogue was a fan made for fans game.
Yeah,
And
some
being
sort
that
of a
way,
spin-off.
Yeah, you don't have to stay on that mode for a lot of time. You stay there if you want to hack computers and get more knowledge about the universe. So
Yeah,
I think for Rogue it was perfect.
but
But
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
but in the end, Rogue had more content about the modern day story than Unity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that was kind of
I'm saying
comical.
that for
Don't get me
Rogue
started on
that was good. For Black Flag that was
Yeah, that
horrible.
was bad.
And for Unity, well, I'm not gonna even say about Unity, man.
Oh my god.
Let's just not
I
talk
was just
about
playing
it.
Unity right now. Like I came back to playing it, and man, it's just a game in the past, and that's not Assassin's Creed for me.
Yeah, it
Assassin's
felt
Creed is both.
it absolutely felt like 18th century French history simulator plus whatever. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed.
But you don't actually learn a lot of history.
in regards to the
AC
modern
Unity.
day, of course.
Well,
Oh,
I
well.
kind of agree to Craft, Hip Hop, and Ariel about Assassin's Creed Unity being a buggy game, being a simulator. But there is a one thing which we can mention about Assassin's Creed Unity. It has a great sense of like this relationship between Arno and Elise, because what I'm trying to say is that when they go on through the storyline, we could clearly see this difference between the Templar and Assassins are not so great. Well, of course
Yeah.
they were in love. They were in love, but in the end, Arno gets. I hope I won't spoil anything to anyone. Arno gets like like like
Does everyone has finished Unity?
Learns of a
here?
lesson.
Yeah, I have.
they're giving
I
him a
thought,
lesson.
yeah.
They're giving him a lesson, and they are excommunicating him from the Order of Assassins. And then he goes away and says that nothing is true, everything is permitted. It gives us the freedom to do what we want, but it just leads us the way we think, and that's
Yeah.
the kind of thing I tried to say. That's
Well, I kind of agree with the part that he said. I have my own faith, so I kind of disagree when he said that there is no God. But
Yeah.
okay, leaving that behind. He says that we have our own consequences for the things we do, and I agree on that part. And that's what he's trying to say. Like, everything's permitted, but there are consequences,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't. The consequences don't always come from God, and he said that none of them come from God. But there are consequences. You can't do something and expect not to have a consequence, and that's what he's saying.
I think he's more addressing it from the church point of view, which is like everything has to be from God. Like if you marry this woman, it's from God. If you kill this guy, it's from God. You can't do anything with it. So
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
other extreme.
yeah, that's the extreme. But like, I mean, concerning Unity and Arno, I think Arno was more of an assassin than the actual master assassins themselves. Yeah, that's
On
the
that
feeling that I
area.
got from the game. Yeah.
on that time.
Yeah, he kind of became an assassin on his own terms, but the others were like didn't give a shit. And
French.
yeah, and the thing that kind of surprised me is that when I went into Unity and then like you enter the kind of sort of the assassin temple, it's sort of ironic, and you go in and you see the four of them for wearing like their I don't know, their hats or whatever you want to call them.
The robes.
Yeah, the robes, and you see them, and it's like that's the first time ever in this series that I said assassins look just like Templars and act just
Yeah.
like Templars. That kind of worried me.
when the
But
trailer
that's
came
great
out.
also. I mean, it's also it's great that the assassins and the Templars felt so close. Even if I don't know, the assassin like console felt like the Mass Effect console. It was, I don't know, for those who played Mass Effect.
Yes.
Because when you're alone and you go to speak, it was the same setting, the same, you know.
Yeah, it felt like a copy paste from Mass Effect, honestly.
But the thing is, well, we're going back on Rogue, but
Yes, we derailed from
it's
that
true
topic.
to say that the Unity was really focused on the Arno, and he created his own Assassin Creed.
Yeah,
to
he says
speak.
it's
Sort of.
not a
And we lost
permission,
everyone.
but a warning. And I think that's very true. Like, when I would be an assassin, I think I would understand it like this as well. Because I don't either always said like it has something to do with the gods, and I never understood it that way, because I think he reflects on Elise's decision in the temple when she has to choose to get her revenge or just or save Arno, and Elise chooses revenge, and that gives that she gets a consequence from that, like dying, and in perspective to say that nothing is true, everything is permitted. Arnold reflects it like as a warning to like when Elise made that decision, nothing was true and everything was permitted, but she got the consequences for it.
Yep. So, shall we go back to Rogue?
Rogue, yeah. So
That
now
always
the-
happens.
so
Watch
the-
other podcasts that happen, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Now we can go back on the. So if we go back on Rogue, we can talk about the gameplay. So if we mentioned earlier that it was like playing an assassin, but we had some like new features. The stalkers, the assassins, but they called it the stalkers, I guess, in the game, that could jump at us, hurt us very much, but they could not kill us.
Well,
They
I'm
were not.
gonna say my opinion because it's a short opinion about it. 'Cause as I said, I played Assassin's Creed Rogue for the story only, and so my explanation, my thoughts about the gameplay, it sucks. I really didn't like it. I mean, I just played for the story. I hated that I had to do some secondary missions to get my boat better, to continue the story, and that's all I have to say.
Well, that
It's
means you
just-
didn't like you didn't like Black Flag, so
Well, I
it was
didn't like Black
it
Flag
was
that
basically
much.
the same game design. You have a boat and you can
Yeah, but-
upgrade it. And
but I like that other gun, that air gun that they created. I thought that was kind of nice, but not much after that.
My opinion about the gameplay, man, like the gameplay of Rogue was, I guess in my opinion, like it wasn't worse than Assassin's Creed 1, but I guess it's like down there with the worst in the series. Like there's a lot of places that I try to climb in, and Shay doesn't like get his hands up and try to climb whatever he's trying to climb. Like it goes for rocks, trees, buildings, a lot of places assassins couldn't like conventionally climb into in Black Flag and Unity. It just couldn't do it, and there's a lot of contact bugs. Parkour doesn't work as well, so it has a lot more problems than Black Flag. But it was like playable to the point where I can enjoy it. But it had a lot of bugs, so that's what kind of frustrated me about it.
It's weird that Black Flag didn't have any bugs, and
Yeah,
we
that's
had.
that's kind of the question that I had in my mind. Like, this is the same engine in Black Flag. How did you like? How can this be humanly possible? Like doing from an existing engine and being able to add bugs to it,
We have
not remove
snow.
bugs.
Like, did you play it
Yeah,
on
it's
PC?
Ubisoft. I mean,
Or
And also, yeah, for the PC version, I mean, Black Flag was cross-gen, and Rogue was like the last gen game, and the PC version is the console version.
yeah, I
maybe-
also noticed that because I played it on PC, and I've set the details on max, and I said, oh, it's gonna run 10 FPS like Black Flag did, and it actually ran 60 FPS. I couldn't believe it. Like the game wasn't that great graphically to the point where everything run great, even like with $150 graphics card. So Like,
Yes,
so that's
the
that's a
problem of
bad
Rogue,
point and a
it
good
has
point.
less, graphics possibilities than AC3. You don't have particles. You cannot choose. I mean, you have only one aliasing filter.
Yeah, FXAA.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know because the Black Flag has so many settings and you have nothing on Rogue.
I mean,
Yeah,
to
but
comment real quick, as someone who played it on PC, the things that sort of, I mean, you can say disappointed me on this version is that you don't have many anti-aliasing options, so you only have FXAA, which is not enough for some stuff. And the second thing is that the trees and the grass, the foliage, looks absolutely horrible compared to Black Flag. Straight out, like, trash. It looks like those old PlayStation 1 games when the grass looks like some kind of a piece of a plastic. Like
And
that.
New York felt so empty.
Yeah, that too.
So weird. I mean, when we thought, I mean, Havana was horrible. I could only run with FXAA, so everything was, I had clipping everywhere. But Rogue was
Yeah, it had
maybe
that. It had that too.
maybe more fluent, but I don't. They could have gone further.
Yeah, I guess it's fluid at the detriment of being more ugly. I guess you can put it that way.
I played AC Rogue on PS3, and I have to say I didn't see any bugs. Like, I had a pretty great experience with it. And gameplay-wise, yeah, okay.
I had bugs on PS3 too because I've played both versions and I had more bugs on PS3 actually.
Oh, okay. Well, but gameplay-wise, I have to say, like, I really, really enjoyed Rogue, and that's strange because I didn't really got into Black Flag that much. But I think that the part with Rogue is, like, it connects with the story for me better. Like, in my opinion, I wanted to play an assassin in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, but I got a pirate, and because of that, it just felt like a pirate game. But Shay being an assassin and then turning into a Templar, it felt more grounded. I think it's not very it's not very assassin-like to sail a ship or Templar-like to sail a ship, but it got me more connected, and I thought the ship fighting and the control of the ship very much improved because, well, you had some problems with the Jackdaw sometimes, and it was with the Morrigan it was more fluently and a little bit faster, and I kind of enjoyed that. And
The gun, the new gun is really improved.
yeah, the
Yes.
puckle gun. Yeah.
And the ship seems more powerful at start. Like in Black Flag, you had it like you had to improve it a lot in order to have a powerful ship. In Rogue, you seem to have a much more advanced head start.
And
Yeah.
in that way, you could play only the story, and that was okay. I remember Black Flag coming at the mission and say, "Oh, your ship is not good enough." And in Rogue, I had that message only once,
Yeah,
and it never came.
that was definitely better.
It was less focused on the sea, and that's good because
Yeah,
we already had Black Flag with pirates.
yeah, and I thought like the land missions where you just control Shay and not the Morrigan were definitely better than the one in Black Flag. Like, no, I don't know the exact name in English, but like these missions where you have to tell your targets and listen to them at the same time, these were just horrible in Black Flag. Like,
Yeah, they were fun for the first time, but they were like every sequence we had the same mission.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you had no fun in
Nope.
that, and I think Rogue gave you more diversity in missions, and I had much more fun in Rogue than in Black Flag gameplay-wise.
Yeah, it was more diverse. In Black Flag, we had a lot of tail missions where you have to constantly hide in grass and behind people, and it kind of got boring after a while. So to see that more diverse and more interesting take on it on Rogue is pretty cool. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and I thought like the stalkers, they're like a very neat addition to the game. Sometimes they were a bit annoying, but like when you were on the mission to, I think it was to trail Keisegawase, because General Monroe was in danger, I just jumped through the trees and on like a small mountain, and then a stalker just straight jumped out of nowhere on me, and I just got so scared, and I thought it was really great because sometimes you are the hunter, but sometimes you're the prey and you don't even notice it. And I thought, like, it gave a bit more diversity because you never had that. And I thought, gameplay-wise, Rogue was really, really a gem. hidden behind Unity.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the problem is that with those stalkers, I never understood why they could not go first. I mean, those stalkers, they will always like kick you with a knife and then just run backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
It
yeah.
was so stupid. They could just the masters, the gang masters.
Oh
were,
my god, don't even tell me
were
about these
strong,
guys.
but
Go ahead.
otherwise, it was so stupid to see that the assassins are supposed to be hunters, and here you could just see them like patrolling in the gang, so the camp.
I mean, to talk about the gang a little bit, like the gang thing, when I meet the gang master, I want to have a combat system. The fact that the gang master can throw, like, I don't know, I don't even remember, some kind of a blade on you and just run away, you know, throw some smoke. It was kind of stupid because I'm a master Templar, so I should be eligible to, you know, being able to fight with you. But
You
the
have a
fact,
mask. That's
yeah,
it.
I mean, I have. You could say I have everything to enter a combat with, like a master of this gang, but they choose to make him way overpowered. That kind of annoyed me a little bit.
Yeah, I would have preferred to have, the assassin that if you fail the quick time event, pressing O or B on the Xbox controller, that when they do the air assassination, that they would kill you instantly. But
To
it would be punishing, but it would be a real assassination. Now it felt so stupid that they just like take you like three quarters of your life bar and just go away. It
Yeah.
was so weird. I mean,
Yeah,
Part
but-
of me wanted a real combat system, but the other part went just like, he planted the fucking blade in my heart. I should be dead right now. I should not be breathing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
goes both ways, actually.
just like multiplayer, when you were killed, you were killed, and that's it. You just
Yeah.
But I think that it could get so annoying. Like when you don't really have your eyes open all the time in the city, and you just walk
you have the
straight.
sound.
Yeah,
You
but
have everything.
yeah,
to
but
tell
sometimes you just want to run straight to your objective, and you don't really listen to the sound. Like I found myself in these situations where like they jumped straight on me when I was just concentrating on another thing. Like I have to go to the shop, and if they would directly kill me, I think it would get really frustrating. But I think you have a point.
Yeah.
Like they seem like bad assassins because they don't even kill you.
Maybe they could have implement that just in the missions, and maybe not put them as much in New York, because
Yeah.
there were a lot in New York.
Yeah, they were really
I mean,
a lot. in-
everyone, you were at the spawn point. I could hear those
breath.
sounds. Yeah,
I mean,
It
what
is.
the fuck?
It is the sound from the multiplayer, right? Like,
yeah, it's the same sound.
well, I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of neat. Like, it was like a reference, and it's just
The-
like the enhanced ego vision from Shay. Which,
Yes, but I think the compass was was maybe too much. I mean, the sound was already great. We had this enhanced eagle vision. You could see them when they were hidden in the hay or in in the grass. But the compass they took from multiplayer should have stayed in multiplayer. It's too easy to spot them.
No,
I mean,
if we speak about boss fights, these in Assassin's Creed Rogue or Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I liked it the way it was in Assassin's Creed Revelations and in Assassin's Creed 3, because when you fight Haytham, you like use nearby objects to make stun on him, to make anything else, to weaken him in weak spots and like this. And when you use nearby details, nearby objects, nearby terrain, it's great when you like fight in this way. It was in Batman Arkham City too, if someone has played this game. When you fight Mr. Freeze, it's like you use nearby details, nearby everything nearby to destroy his armor, to destroy his to fight with his consciousness and so on. It's like great to use these details.
well,
Yeah.
the Mr. Freeze boss fight was great, but I thought the Haven boss fight was like, I didn't like it because it was, I think, too easy. I needed 3 minutes. And if you look at
Sorta.
AC1, the Almu Limb boss fight, Like they knew the fighting system was a little bit too easy, and they just made 7 Al-Mualims there, and it felt like a boss fight because it was more difficult and you needed a bit longer. And in AC2, the boss fight with Rodrigo Borgia, like that was great because they turned it like you were the one who multiplies himself with the apple, and Rodrigo had the staff, but he had more life, and it was handled better. And I think the Haven boss fight
Well, but
kind of fell flat, but I think it's because of the
I don't
combat
think
system.
the ambition of an Assassin's Creed game is to give you boss fights. I mean,
No, absolutely not.
it's to give you freedom to assassinate your people. So when playing Shay, I quickly understood that every assassin will be a boss fight. I mean, Kesegoase is a boss fight with in the fort, and also Hope is another boss fight
Yeah.
with poison. I felt disappointed because I don't have this feeling of approach, and it was so it was a great level design, but since they do not have the ambition to do true boss fights, and you are not an assassin, so you do not approach stealthy like the assassins, we kind of lose. We've lost the stealth approach. So
Yeah, but
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think they tried to pull off a boss fight with Haven, and I think that one failed.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of problem that I have with Assassin's Creed in terms of boss fights is that they treat them like normal enemies, but with more bar health. It
Yeah.
just felt like that with
Yeah.
me. So if you're going to have a boss fight, you need to develop a certain combat system for that, like Batman, like when our friend Manbat said, ironically. It should be like Batman or something where you can use nearby objects, something Uncharted had for all enemies, like you can use a box and smash it on head, or like, you know what I'm talking about. Just have nearby objects
Yeah.
and have a contextual battle.
Like you said about using things in nearby objects and that kind of stuff, I think that boss fights in Assassin's Creed should be like just like what Assassin's Creed Unity did. I think
Yes,
that's
I agree.
perfect for Assassin's Creed. Like you need to kill this guy, and you're here, and you have all these things you might do, you want to do, and like do whatever you want, but get to this guy and kill him in whatever you want.
Well-
Stealthily, with help, with no help, or like brutally going after
Well,
that guy.
that's not really
I
a boss
agree.
I
fight.
think that's
Like, that
perfect.
was the assassination mission they improved.
Yeah,
with
I know, but
the
that's the
so-called
idea,
black
like
box mission.
of finishing an arc or something like that.
The idea is more like AC1. It's you have to assassinate your target, and if you fail, you have a combat,
Yeah,
and that
right.
becomes a boss fight.
Yeah, but I
So
think the real boss fight in
that
AC
would be great
Unity
level design.
was Jamar, and I think the boss fight with Jamar was actually pretty good. I kind of enjoyed it. But the black
All
box
boss
mission
fights
and the
in Unity were fine.
assassinations are a great addition. So
There are many stuff they can change in like boss fights besides health bar in Assassin's Creed, because they don't have.
They can only copy and paste Batman. That's the only thing
So,
they
like-
can do. Quick time events, but
And
Batman can use his gadgets to defeat Mr. Freeze. But an assassin, he will use like I mean, if we take Arno or even Shay, he has special weapons, but Shay Shay weapons would kill instantly the target if you want to stay credible. And Arnold tools are just the Phantom Blade, and it's not useful in the boss fight. So I think they're kind of stuck in this.
Well, the only thing I
system
can
that-
see of like a change in the boss system, saying like a real boss, like a fight, it's apart from health bar, which wouldn't be like an actual change, is fighting styles. For example, not that this guy would fight different,
Yes.
but for example, we have the Chinese assassin, and she fights differently than the others. So let's say, for example, in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you have a Chinese Templar. I'm just imagining, and like he fights differently. So like he might have a double quick attack, and you have to like parry twice in a row,
Double press
and that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Just like Batman, yeah.
And not
Yeah, but-
like you have to use nearby objects, that kind of stuff. But not that you have to like. It's just a person. It's a realistic game, and you can kill people just like you kill any other people. You just stick a blade in their head, and they're dead.
Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah, that's
why.
why Kisegawase, you could kill him just by counter him just once and he was dead.
Yeah, that's the problem. Assassin's Creed really don't need boss fights.
Yeah,
but they always try to pull them off.
Yeah.
Like in AC4, the mission where you go after where Edward thinks he's going after Laureano Torres, and you fight.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Like the big guy in the big armor.
Yes,
It was this. Okay.
Spanish
yeah.
name.
Yeah, it was
some
something.
Spanish guy. But the boss fight was so bad. Like you had to use your pistols and reload and shoot him, and then it was over.
Yeah, that
Then
was pretty bad.
Yeah, so they always try to pull them off, but they don't really have great boss fights, and that's, I think, gameplay-wise in Rogue, not really.
They have different themes, different environments. Like Hope was the city, Kisegawase was the fort, and before the canyon, and Le Chevalier de la Vérendrye was on his boat. But they cannot pull off true boss fights.
Yeah.
Only different environments.
In Rogue, they never felt like boss fights. They felt like an assassination which was planned, but like somehow failed. Like he was
Yes.
going straight after
Yes.
after her Hope, and like she ran away, so it was like kind of a chase scenario. And it,
Yeah.
Lawrence Washington was a great assassination, but it was the first assassination and you were still an assassin.
yeah,
So to
But,
summarize, Assassin's Creed doesn't need bosses, but if they actually choose to have bosses, they can pull off, but they need to be really creative. But until
Yeah.
now, they
Yeah, pretty
haven't
much,
nailed
yeah.
it yet.
probably with Pieces of Eden. Like I really like the Almuralin boss fight and the Rodrigo Borgia boss fight, and I even like the
Dead Kings also had a boss fight in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe Syndicate. I don't know if Syndicate can have boss fights, but I don't know. It might because it's the same studio that made Dead Kings, and they're kind of into really special features that are not really explainable. Like the invisibility cloak and the stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think they can exploit that to.
Well, I think
I
they-
think, I think
they could-
Assassin's Creed Syndicate can pull off more bosses because they have vehicles now, and trains, and
Yeah.
I think they can be really, really good for bosses.
Yeah, but we've seen also those chariot chase in Revelation, and in the end it was just a quick time event, like pressing square to kill
yeah.
Hammett. Well, not to kill him, but
I think they could pull out a boss fight with the Shroud of Eden. Like it has these healing powers. I don't know if you really know about.
yeah, the
Yeah,
shroud,
like when some Templar has it, you hit him and he kind of runs away, so he heals himself. You have to be fast enough or something like that. Like it's possible, but when they don't have Pieces of Eden, these boss fights kind of fall flat, and it's really disappointing.
Actually, I think Cesare Borgia has the shroud. If for those who played Project Legacy on Facebook,
Yeah, I forgot.
Nah, I
about
didn't touch
I
that.
did play some of it.
we
I
were
never
talking-
got into
oh,
that. Yeah.
I had to find people to speak about all the artifacts.
Like
I think the only thing they can change is what I said about fighting styles. If they don't change the fighting styles and continue the way they are, it won't change anything else.
Yeah, because like Templars aren't just one nationality. There's the Japanese, the Portuguese, the Espanol, and so you have different martial arts, and they could really exploit that in terms of fighting style. So you have someone fighting with jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You have someone fighting with fucking ninja tactics, or I don't know, like something has to be different because these guys came from different countries and they have to fight differently. So that just goes without saying. I mean, it makes sense.
I think in boss fights they can be a lot more challenging. Because like I was
Yeah,
just thinking,
that too.
Assassin's Creed doesn't have a difficulty setting, so what I play.
It's not meant to be difficult.
Yeah, no. Actually, I like games that doesn't have difficulty settings, so that means everyone can finish it. But it's not easy. But
Yeah, you have kind of the same experience between players.
yeah, but
Well, Assassin's Creed is one of the easiest game of.
yeah,
all
that's what I'm saying. It could be harder. It could have not necessarily harder, so people wouldn't be able to finish like amateurs. But
The problem is,
I think it needs to be more challenging, because if you die,
but when they want to do it harder, it became frustrating. I know for example, Unity, and I'm going to jump back on Rogue, but that's my awesome transition. With Unity, we had this new combat system that was we can say it truly harder than the previous ones.
Yeah.
And everything was slower. The AI was really more accurate. They could really spot you, and the character, the Arno, moved slower. Everything was slower. He had less tools, and
Yeah.
everything was great for a stealthing game. But when I went back on Rogue, I felt so free. I could walk fast. I could run and kill everyone, and that's why I liked Rogue, because we felt that freedom. And I don't know if it's Black Flag that made me like this new type of gameplay. But when I went back on Rogue, it was okay. So now that's what I think. That's what I'm waiting for in Assassin's Creed game. I want to feel free, like be able to feel badass, and the environments were so great in Assassin's Creed Rogue that I could feel pleasure just by walking around and do these outpost missions and naval combat.
To kind of jump off on this topic real quick, I've talked to a guy on YouTube comments, and he said to me like, Assassin's Creed 3 combat system was great, and I pretty much agreed with him, because on Assassin's Creed 3 and Rogue and Black Flag, you can kill people, like you have the double hidden blades, and you can kill people while you're running and continue your running. So it was very dynamic, I guess. But like when Arno had one hidden blade, and he kind of does this silly move when he does the double assassination, and you have to pay some kind of virtual credit to even be able to sit on a chair. That was so ridiculous to me. That I couldn't stand that myself, because you had to buy some stuff there. Like, okay, so the guy, I even debated a guy also on YouTube. He said to me, well, they wanted to make the game more difficult. The assassin isn't trained yet, and he hasn't become a master yet. I said, okay, does it require any assassin abilities to be able to sit on a chair? A fucking baby can do that. It's not about.
I think they could not figure out the balance between difficulty and progression to the characters. They wanted to do an upgrade to level 3, like. Yeah, and it completely failed. I mean,
they made pretty much everything
not an RPG,
upgradable.
It's Assassin's Creed. So.
I
think Assassin's Creed could be a lot more hardcore. Like, having a screen on your TV, your computer saying you are dead doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
So if you die more, it's more challenging, and when you actually do it, it's more fulfilling.
Exactly.
But I just think like Unity. You're like, I did a lot of secondary missions in Unity before I finished the game, so I got a lot of money, and I got a lot of good weaponry and armor. So when I finished the game, I was like, oh, that was easy. I didn't feel like complete, like I actually finished a hardcore game. That's one of the best games of the year. And I was going through Unity today, as I was saying, and I was just buying and upgrading all weapons for nothing, just for completion. And I was like, oh my god, there are so many weapons, so many good-looking weapons, and they all do the same.
Yeah, if we speak about this missions and these, if we speak about these missions, then I would rather say that it would be interesting to see if Assassin's Creed do it the way it's like in Left 4 Dead, when if you do one decision, then it ends up like in one event that comes up that way, that then you have to decide that, and it's interesting when your decision makes a difference, and when it makes a difference, then it makes completely another ending, completely another sequences. But it could be hard, but to make it work. But it could be very interesting for the gamers, and Assassin's Creed will be very improved by this.
The thing is, I think Alex Amancio said that they said that Assassin's Creed Unity would have progressive missions, like truly reactive quests. And I think it was a complete lie. I mean, Assassin's Creed
he lied.
A linear story.
He said that there would be an explanation for, like, when Arno kills his targets, like, he sees his memories. And it's like, it's not even explained, and it's so weird. Like, that really fucked me up.
I don't know where I think it's explained in... I think I read that in maybe the second comic, like Brahman. I think I read that.
Oh, I read that.
You know, this assassin had this ability. Do you recall that the assassin said something like, "Okay, Arno had the possibility to see the memory of his victims"?
Well, I don't remember,
But
but
how
I
can
think I
he do
read that
that?
somewhere, but
I think I can
What?
get
How
it
can he do
right
that?
now if you want.
Like you
I
mean
don't
the
know.
comic Brahman with Abbas?
Yeah.
Like I don't
yeah,
think they say anything about
I
Arno.
think they said something about. I'm
Well,
not
I
sure.
don't think it
Maybe it was
mentions Arno
elsewhere.
actually. Just remember.
No,
No, maybe.
I think
I don't know. Maybe it was another thing. Like
I mean,
maybe the
yeah,
Abstergo handbook.
the
know.
employee
I don't know.
handbook.
I think it's just lazy writing on their part because they didn't have any pre-rendered 3D cinematics for when the victim is kind of, you know what I'm saying? So they just didn't have something that they did absolutely poor job of writing those. So they said, "Oh, can you cop us a new videos and something?" And you just throw in the game badly compressed stuff. Yeah, that's it.
for the present day. We have a really compressed video
Yeah,
of Rebecca.
yeah, and
My name is not Rebecca. Yes, your name is Rebecca.
Yeah. This absolutely boggled my mind. Like, this is supposed to be 2014, 2015. People don't have bad cameras anymore.
Yeah, this this felt so stupid. Like, my name is Bishop, and the video is freezing, but that's because we are hacking Abstergo. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I think that the yearly cycle, like where every year a new Assassin's Creed comes out, is the main problem of the series right now. Like,
Well,
and even last year we got 2 Assassin's Creeds. Like,
Yeah,
and
I would
Unity
think
wasn't
that
in a
too.
finished state. And I think they
that-
should.
I talk about that with my friends. Sorry, man, because I talk about that stuff with my friends at school, and I said, well, I love the story of Assassin's Creed, and having one every year, it's not bad for me. I don't think.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
I totally agree. Like I really like that I get a new Assassin's Creed every year, but I think, to be honest, the story is going nowhere. I can't
Yeah.
when
Yeah, without
Or maybe a
Desmonders.
smaller game. We don't need AAA game every year. You know the game that what Desilets thought, like this time machine and do a new period every year.
Yeah, it just
think
feels
we
like
were
that
okay with
without
that.
Desmond, honestly.
But a new AAA game with a new setting and a new engine, well, it's really hard.
Yeah, I mean the thing that the series need, in my opinion, is just a new present day character, and everyone would jump on board.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I think we all agree.
or not even a character, but like, I don't know. I agree that I would prefer a present day character, but it just needs more present day. Even if it's just
Yeah,
more
more of
cinematics
it.
in the present day, it would work, but just needs more present day.
I think we need a character. I think this whole like you are the protagonist, it doesn't work. Like it really bugs me that like they said Assassin's Creed now throws you in the present day, like the day it comes out, and then the next year it throws you the day it comes out again. Like the timeline is exactly the same as our timeline, but like in Rogue you had to be playing a totally different guy than you were in AC4, and it doesn't make any sense because I know everything that happened in AC4, and what happened with Rogue, and what is with Juno, and what is with John Standish, the
Yeah,
guy who
I
got shot.
thought
at
it was the exact sequel, but I guess we didn't get that.
Yeah, I think it's poorly done at this state. Like,
I mean,
Syndicate has to really give us a new character or has to explain something.
The problem with the present day character is that Ubisoft tried to portray it as that, oh, we are the one playing the game. That would work if I was actually locked up in Abstergo Industries like building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you're playing with another character like Desmond, that's just an example. I'm not really asking him to return. But when you're playing as Desmond, you're putting your mind in the mind of Desmond. But me, like, I'm just this. This is a sandwich. Besides me, I have a Coca-Cola, and I'm playing with my mouse. And you're telling me that I'm locked up in Abstergo Industries? I mean, that doesn't make it any immersive. I mean, I would have been fine with the first-person approach if they only had parkour like Mirror's Edge or something. But it wasn't even that. Like, you're basically in the jail.
Yeah. I think it doesn't
Yeah.
work too. But Desmond is kind of alive. Like, you know that in Unity, there's in this node, he's alive in the gray. Like, I don't think he will
Yeah.
come back, but I think it was just pushed out to let the fans like, Desmond is alive.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen a video from Assassin's Creed Conspiracies. If you look them on
Oh
on
yeah, I
YouTube,
saw them too. Yeah.
yeah, it had that like kind of a revelation that Desmond's consciousness, I mean, sort of mind information, whatever you want to call it, may be alive in Abstergo. So we might see him in another form, but like I'm not really sure. So I wouldn't really
Yes,
count
but
on that.
anyway, I mean, this universe had a really large, I mean, the amount of possibilities. They can do like everything. I mean, now they can pull off DNA from dead people, so they can tell us whatever story they want to tell us through the animus or whatever. So people saying Desmond's alive, yes, of course he's alive or he isn't, but I don't think Ubisoft really cares about if Desmond is alive. They can just decide if he's alive or not. Like
Yes.
Assassin's Creed is like a TV show. They can write whatever they want. They can do
Yeah.
some stupid stuff and then say next year that, oh no, it's just like, I think the Lucy story was really bad handled.
Yeah.
The thing that Lucy was a Templar, I don't buy that story, but
Yeah.
I think
It's-
it's for
it's-
another.
You
It
did
seemed like they made Lucy a Templar at the last minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The explanation came in a DLC, so that was really bad handled. So
Like, I think
Yeah.
you did a really neat comparison there. Like, AC was planned as a trilogy of, like, compared to films. And Ubisoft is changing it at the moment, or they already changed it into a TV series, which brings in a lot of money, and they keep running it, and every year a new title. And my fear for
no, Ubisoft is it's like if you see the Far Cry games are like the blockbusters, like the blockbusters movie. It's the Far Cry
Yeah.
games and Watch Dogs.
yeah, right.
And Assassin's Creed is their TV show.
It's a cash grab,
Yeah, sort
quite
of.
honestly. Like, I'm totally afraid that the series is going nowhere story-wise in modern day. Like, it's always great to have these new stories with the Assassins and Templars in the past, but like, when the modern day story ends, these experience would have, like, they end. So I think they will keep running the modern day story and it won't go anywhere.
And the problem we have also is that, well, they had a main writer. Like Cora
Oh,
May
yeah.
was the
Yeah.
leader, but then he left Ubisoft like a month ago. So they have different writers for different games, and that's why we had this absurd storylines like in Revelation, destroying all the stuff we had with Subject 16. Revolution totally destroyed that. We could see him and speak to him. That felt so stupid. So
Well,
I don't
Yeah.
know. Different writers for different games.
I liked it.
It doesn't
I
work
have
for
to
this
say.
scale and for this.
Like, for me, the game's story worked till AC3. Like, the modern day story was... AC3 was a bit weak because they totally destroyed Daniel Cross. Like, he wasn't at all like in the comic books. But I think, like, the story with Clay Kasmarek and the Animus in Revelations, it kind of worked for me. But I think these problems is with different writers. But now for Syndicate we have Jeffrey Yohalem.
But do you remember the truth in Brotherhood? It was like,
Yeah.
he said to
Yeah.
Desmond, "You have to find Eve," and they completely forgot that. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, in the next game, so Clay Kasmarek is just about freeing Desmond from the Animus. Why do you? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, maybe like
Yeah.
like I think they even did it on purpose, like, because they in Dead Kings they are talking about Lady Eve, and now in Syndicate you have Jacob Fry and Evie Fry, and I think they are getting us hyped. And in Unity in this note they stated that Subject 16 and
and also
Desmond.
the DLC. In Unity.
Yeah, Dead
You
Kings, yeah.
Bring that box to Al Mualim. What box? What's in it? We have a box in Embers. We have a box in the Freedom Cry. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it's the same box. I haven't played
Oh,
Chronicles China
Try-
yet.
like
But
Oh, I started but I didn't finish.
they
Me
want
too.
to build a universe, but even if I was a hardcore fan, I just dropped it because it feels so stupid.
like
You
Yeah.
cannot fool me with tons of characters and items and artifacts, and every year we will have a new artifact.
Yeah, I think,
I don't
but
know.
these are the same boxes. Like, I don't know if in Dead Kings it's really about the box, but more about the Apple of Eden. But in Embers and Freedom Cry and Chronicles China, of course, because Xiao Yun get it from Ezio, it's the same box. I think they stated that. So, but I wanted to...
I would like to say that if we speak about this need for something to happen in modern day story, Well, when we had Assassin's Creed 3, we had something global to happen because everything in the world actually believed that 12.12.12 that the 21st of December will be the end of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had this global thing which could happen, and Assassin's Creed was affected
Taking
by it.
advantage.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed was taking advantage of this, and if Ubisoft could take one another thing, global thing to happen, then we could make a brand new like character to start off, and maybe it could be a war, maybe it could be a global catastrophe, maybe it could be a nature.
It can be anything.
It could be anything.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they
We really
already
have to wait for
use
Syndicate.
everything, like every nuclear blast, every the Tesla machine. They used everything, like in initiates.
If we speak about these global things, then they could these Templars as Abstergo Industries could make like a brand new war between the assassins in the modern days. Like they could take control in searching ordinary people, taking in them into their labs and testing on them new animuses, and like something like this is missing in these parts.
Yeah, I think they didn't take advantage of the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that kind of bothered me is because, like, all the time they were like, oh, this is the end of the world, everything is going down, the sun is about to blast us, and then Desmond puts his hand on something, and it's all over. Like, all the hype, all the suspense is gone.
Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, that was that ending all over again. Like, the ending of
Yeah,
AC3
that-
could have been so epic. But we kind of get off Rogue. We want to talk about Rogue.
Yes. I think I will have to split the two podcasts. I don't know.
And we have to call it
Yeah, we'll
Assassin's
figure out
Creed
something.
Ramble.
Well, I prefer
So if you
actually
want to
these
talk
kind of
about the-
podcasts that you can talk whatever you
The
want.
present day story about Rogue, you wanna... What do you think about the modern day setting of Rogue, like being in Abstergo, and because in Black Flag we were like a random guy and saved by the assassins, but in Rogue we were this Templar, and I'll start by saying just by the only thing that bothered me is that they still have to make you feel that the Templars are the bad guys. Just the fact that Otto Berg comes at you with a gun, it's so stupid. I mean, if you want to do a game about
Yeah.
Templars, do not show that Templars are the bad guys. Because we've been seeing that for 6 games before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. The modern day story of Rogue was all over the place. I thought, like, you didn't even know you're not the same guy as in Black Flag, and then you somehow there's the helix there, which is also not explained, and then it crashes because you entered the memory, and I don't even know, like, did someone hack it? And then there's Otto Berg, who suddenly knows that Shay will become a Templar. Like, where did he even find that out? It's like, I think.
Well,
the modern day
I think
story-
it's explained
They
because
have the
it's history.
resource.
He can just say like,
Yeah.
oh, he did this, he knew that.
And did you know that Otto Berg is actually the character that you were supposed to play when you played the multiplayer in
Yeah.
Revelation?
I know that. Yeah.
This kind of things came after because they had absolutely no clue before and they just wrote it afterwards. So I think we will know about the character we play in Black Flag and Rogue afterwards, because right now they have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Something you were saying that about the writers. I think there is no problem in having a writer for each game, because I honestly prefer like games like going from Black Flag to Unity. You know, like different characters, different period. It's like completely new story, so it's not a sequel, in like sort of. But I think there should be only one writer for the modern story. Like one guy writes the base,
Yeah.
and some guy writes the past. You know. I think
I don't
there
know
needs to be
yeah.
how,
a
how it's
direction.
handled.
That should be interesting.
There is a team for initiates, and there is the director of Black Flag. He's the not the main director of the game. What's it?
Jean
my
Gueston?
God. Jean Gueston, yeah, and now he's the director of the brand. So he actually have the decisions of the brand, but I don't know if they have a main writer.
Man, just call Oliver Bolden that's publishing the books.
I think I think.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if Bolden is good. I don't know. The books are fine. I mean the last last three. I mean the first are quite boring, but he's just a writer like that. He's not someone.
But he knows the idea of Assassin's Creed. He knows what Assassin's Creed is. He's
like
he's
I don't
been
know.
there since the beginning.
I think it's not that true because Oliver Bowden, I think Darby stated it in Loomis' podcast, The Assassin's Den, that Oliver Bowden is not his real name, and I think he just gets an outline from the script because the AC2 book, I think it was Assassin's Creed Renaissance, it was completely the same except all those memories Ezio didn't want to relive or something like, which were in Brotherhood with Christina, and like they were in the book. But I think Oliver Bowden just gets an outline from the script and does whatever he wants with it. It's just like a cash-in. But
yeah, I know
now
he's not a writer, but
he
knows what Assassin's Creed is. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think like the problem is not
go ahead.
with the writers. Like they have a team with Darby McDevitt and now Jeffrey O'Hallam, who was working on Assassin's Creed 2, and I think they are the big guys. Like
yes, Darby is one of the main leaders.
Darby is awesome. Like I think the biggest problem with the series is that they all have different, like every title has a different creative director and they all have a different vision. Like Ashraf Ismail did a great job with Assassin's Creed 4, and like I think it's Marc Alexis Cote who makes who's working on Syndicate right now. He worked on the Tyranny of King Washington. And I think you kind of see that in the gameplay of Syndicate, like with the rope launcher and the chameleon skill, which I'm not going to talk about because I would totally rant and maybe throw something through my room. But I think that's the main problem. But I think the writers are doing a great job. They just need, like Darby stated in one of the live streams, he wrote like a whole history of First Civilization, and I think they have to assemble a team and know where they have to go, and then they can write it with different people, but they need to have a direction. Like
that's what it's
like.
It's missing. It's missing the direction.
Yeah, like
absolutely. Because go ahead.
Okay, when you compare AC4 to AC Rogue, like the modern day story, there's nothing these connect except Abstergo Entertainment. Like they don't even have a connection, and it's just a different story. And Juno isn't even in Rogue, right? Like you have these, when you collect all these Animus fragments, you get a message from her, like a short memo, and she says something. But
the modern story of Rogue is just made of by conversation taken in Initiates.
Yeah.
Everything you have on Rogue, you can learn it in Initiates. I mean, I'm not a hardcore fan of Initiates, so I learned a lot of things in Rogue, but I know that you can find everything in Initiates, so. And they didn't write anything original here.
Initiates is like they put on the story to where the assassins, because they didn't tell it in the game obviously, and they had this story with the Initiates, and it kind of didn't work, and they stopped it. And I think in Rogue they touched shortly on it at the end when they sent the video of Shay to the assassins, and then everyone writes in like a chat. Whatever that was, like
that was weird.
Yeah, like I think it just didn't have any direction, and it's kind of sad. But I hope we will get a fucking great modern day story in Syndicate, because Jeffrey O'Hallam wrote it, and I think a different guy wrote it, but he looked through it and he said it's great. So I hope that they said in all these interviews for Syndicate that we will get a surprise. Like it's gonna be great, and we will see familiar faces.
They also said we'd get a surprise in Unity.
Oh yeah,
we didn't get any.
With these glitches. Oh, you can go back
surprise,
to
no modern day.
Yeah, we see the Eiffel Tower.
That was
great.
Yeah.
I can play the Saboteur.
Yeah, Unity was just a big mistake, which came out of the yearly releases.
It's not so bad, man. For me, the biggest mistake is Revelation.
Next podcast.
I guess the biggest mistake was releasing it before it was done.
Yeah.
That was the mistake.
Yeah, I'm not a hater of Unity, no way. I'm a hardcore fan of the series, and I kind of enjoyed it. I even got like I think 80 hours in the game, and I played all the co-op missions. I 100%ed it, but it just kind of fell flat. But we have to get back to Rogue.
I think we're done with Rogue, but if you
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
I mean,
wanted to finish something, we begin, I don't know, with the modern day story up the Templars, Ottoberg.
Rogue is smaller than Black Flag, and the podcast is longer. So
yeah. I mean, I guess I have one to say about Rogue and the modern day story real quick to build up on what Wakeham said. The modern day story, I guess, needed more consistency, as he said, because between Rogue and Black Flag we play different characters, and then Desmond died in Assassin's Creed 3, and we don't know what happened to the guy in Black Flag, so it kind of falls flat, you know. You kind of play the game wondering what happened to the last guy that I played with a year ago, that I cared about, that I was trying to protect against murder, and now like I don't even know where he's gone. Like it's just
too many loose
frustrating
ends.
the way. Yeah, it kind of frustrates me that Ubisoft trying to hang you onto this character. Like, I'm so afraid that they're going to pull this off again, but they're probably going to have 5 games with the same modern day character, and they're going to kill him, and they're going to justify 3 transition games. They're saying, oh, we're moving to the new cycle. Like, come on, Ubisoft.
Yeah,
just put a character and let us play with it till the end of the game.
Yeah,
isn't that possible?
Assassin's Creed needs an end. That's because it doesn't. I honestly think it doesn't have an end because they want to make the money. Of course, that's what the video games are made for.
Is that Ivgimo that said they had the end, or?
Yeah, Ashraf Ismail said shortly before AC4 came out they had an end, but I don't think that he
I think
meant it
everyone
that
said
way.
something different. I think Ashraf Ismail said something, and Darby McDavid said otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all over the place.
Corey May said that there was somewhere in Ubisoft Montreal, I guess, that there was that they had all the topics they wanted to do for Assassin's Creed, but well, I don't know. We've been waiting years for having when we finally get the French Revolution, and they still have a lot of topics to do, but.
Yeah, it's been rumored there will be one in Brazil for so many times.
Yeah, after AC3 they said it was in Brazil, like it was a rumor, but it was actually.
Well, after Brotherhood, we were waiting for a French Revolution, and then we were hoping, I don't know, China, and then they pulled off that Chronicles.
Well,
And Feudal Japan is a great one too.
Chronicles.
Yeah, but it's a shame that we cannot
I mean,
play Xiaoyun in a great open world AAA game.
Yeah, kind of this third-person view.
Well, it's either
Sort of.
the gameplay or the story. I mean, I prefer the story, so I'm happy with it.
I mean,
Like,
I hated Liberation, and then I see that the second female assassin is another second-hand game. It's not the main AAA game.
Yeah, but now we got Eevee.
Finally, we have
Now got
Eevee
Eevee.
Fry. Yeah, we got Eevee, but it's not. Well, it's the main character is Jacob, so
Well,
they cannot
it's
do
actually
just
both. We'll see how it plays out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
hope
I'll
Eevee
at
like
least
her.
give them.
because it's she has the stealth part, whereas Jacob has the gang fight part.
Well, I would like to say, to summarize my sentences, I would like to say that I kind of talked to my friend about Assassin's Creed. He's not a hardcore fan, he's not a fan at all of Assassin's Creed. But I kind of trying to convince him that Assassin's Creed is good, and you can play it without blaming Ubisoft that it's making just money. It's making something for people. But what I wanted to say is that it's better to have an end too early than too late, because it could end in Watch Dogs series or Watch Dogs 1, Watch Dogs 2. It could become a brand new series, but it isn't so good to be so. What I mean is that we don't need a soap opera. We need a good end and something epic, some epic conclusion.
Yes,
Like, I don't
yes.
know.
Totally agree. Assassin's Creed.
They still have Juno on the side. They can still have their epic ending with Juno.
Yeah, but
that's their own card. I mean, Juno is out there.
Yeah, we don't even see her. Like, of course we have all these epic things, but when this story with Juno ends, like, what are they gonna do next? Or does this franchise end? Like, and they even are doing a movie now. Like, Assassin's Creed is the biggest franchise of Ubisoft, one of the biggest franchise in video game history. Like, it's Ubisoft's Call of Duty. It sells amazingly, but I just hope they.
It's far from being over.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it needs an end. Like, watch Return of the Jedi. Like, this end, I think, was one of the best ends in the filming history. Like, I really liked it, and I don't need Episode 7. I'm hyped for it, but like, it just Assassin's Creed needs an end, and maybe some years after it, reboot it if you want. If you
Yeah,
want to.
reboot, spin-off, whatever. Just like Metal Gear Solid, you can still go back in time and
Yeah.
another character.
Like, really, like.
Or I don't know.
But the story needs
Yeah.
an end. That's an epic conclusion, and we need a direction that we're gonna go now. Just do like 3 more games and not spin-offs, and concentrate on them, and don't push them
But
out
like we
when they're
said,
not even
it's
finished.
a series, so if they want to do more games, they will do more games.
Yeah, of course.
But for example, like if they actually did what they said they were going to do, like what Nolan North said they were supposed to do about the time traveling in the end and that kind of stuff. If they
Yeah, that
actually-
would have been awesome.
Yeah, but if they actually did that, they didn't have to finish. Like
Exactly.
just- yeah, I mean, do that, and then you kill Desmond. Like after he did that, like you don't have to kill it, but stop using him, and then start over. Like do something else. You don't.
But
have to end
it's
there.
basically what they said. But killing Desmond and having Desmond's body available, and then saying that they could use anybody's DNA. They gave them more freedom to explore whatever they want. They can explore every time period, everywhere, just by collecting DNA. So they have 100% freedom to do whatever they want. So they do not need that modern day story to support the backstory. So
But now that I'm thinking about it, is like they said they can take the DNA of a dead body and just explore the animus from it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So why didn't you have some hair of Desmond or something before he went all rogue and went away from you? I just started thinking about that. Like
they didn't
they
have
had-
the technology, right? They
didn't
discovered
have it.
it in 2012 or 14. During Black Flag, you were still using Desmond's DNA, and it's Unity that introduces the dead body thing with Jacques de Molay.
Okay, but
It's
I'm still
they
kind
talked
of
about
skeptical.
it in the I think it's in the fourth the graphic novels. I think they
Okay,
use
but
that.
I'm still kind of skeptical because they didn't keep any blood samples or hair from Desmond. It seems like this very little detail, but it seems like kind of more of a way to hide the inconsistency of the story. Like you can really feel that Ubisoft writers went, shoot, oh my God, how we are going to continue the story. So they did something
Dead
to
body,
justify that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
dead bodies.
During 5 games, were okay. So the assassins can never die, because if he dies, it means I'm not able to see his DNA, because he need to have descendants, right? And now, okay, they changed it all. You can have someone that dies in front of you just because you have his body. So
Yeah,
seemed kind of
that
bizarre.
seemed kind of
Well,
weird.
interesting
That
thing
seemed kind
to
of
think
bizarre.
about is that when Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out, and then it's like Assassin's Creed 2. Then Niccolo Machiavelli, like this character of Niccolo, he said, "We are assassins. We are here to protect God, mankind's revolution." And I mean, if revolution takes us to the time machines, then it's the way it is. But I think if we speak about modern day, then we are not ready for time machines. It's my own honest opinion, but I'm not ready to taking series too far, so that far. But I don't know. Maybe someone is.
Actually, it's not a time machine. It's just like Desmond would have the power of kind of traveling through time, not a time machine.
Would you
Yeah,
like
of
that?
all
Like,
assassins, actually.
would you like that if Desmond could travel through time? Like, everyone was so hyped after the comments
Yep.
of Nolan North, but I was very skeptical.
I don't know if he meant like a real time machine or just the illusion of a time machine, because we have to see the Ancestors game by Desilets. I think it's the only way to understand what the first vision of the game they had.
I don't think Ancestors
Yeah.
is going to have anything to do with Assassin's Creed.
I think it's gonna be an Animus, but Desilets said that we would have like an open world to be able to not be annoyed while the sequel is coming, because he's going to develop every episode, like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
when he has money and time.
actually I have a fan page for Ancestors. Like I've read everything I could, but Ancestors will have nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. Like he said, Assassin's Creed is Ubisoft's property now. I'm not going to do anything. Ancestors is
He's still fighting about his rights. I mean,
But you know,
they stole him, like, basically the
trademark, basically.
1666 Amsterdam. Yeah, but that hasn't.
1666 was his project. And he still wants it back.
Yeah, of course. Like, but Ancestors has nothing to do with that. And Assassin's Creed.
I mean, but he can do something interesting when he just, you know, builds something like the Animus, but doesnn't call it the Animus, so there isn't any trademark issue.
There won't be an Animus. He said that in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time machine maybe. So
like,
because
that's kind of sad.
He has only one. Through his entire life, he's done only third-person adventure games, and it has to do something with times. We see it with Sands of Time. It has to do something with times.
Yeah.
So he said, my next game will be a AAA third-person adventure game, and you will be able to go back in time. So
Yeah.
I know it's not Assassin's Creed, but in his mind, it's. I mean, for us, if we are fans of Patrice Désilets, it will be our next Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, but.
Because
but I think he's.
It's not going to be about assassins,
No,
sure.
no,
But it's going to be about.
Time travel, I guess.
No, it's like he's gonna release it in episodes, and the first episode is gonna be like about humanoids and the next episode could be like anywhere. It doesn't.
I don't know how we can play it off with just one engine, you know. But
yeah, we will see. Like I don't know
you
yet.
just have to find one gameplay. I don't know, one gameplay feature that can be adaptable to all periods.
Man, we're talking too much in the future, man. We don't know almost anything about this game.
Yeah, we'll have to speculate. I mean, one other aspect is that now that the Anvil engine is kind of a property of the Assassin's Creed series, what graphical engine will he eventually use? CryEngine, Unreal Engine?
Unreal, yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
think he's gonna
Doesn't
use
matter.
Unreal Engine.
I don't think that nowadays the engines and game design is property. When you see a game like Shadow of Mordor, it's basically an Assassin's Creed game with the Batman game design, the Batman combat
Oh
system.
yes, Shadow
So
of
I
Mordor.
don't think he will have any trouble with the property rights to do that. He can do whatever he wants. Today, engines are you don't have to pay millions of dollars to an engine, except maybe, yeah, CryEngine.
I don't think it will play like Assassin's
Right.
Creed, honestly. I don't think we'll have running buildings in like Ice Age.
I don't know. So, do we have anything else to talk about?
We have 2 hours of
Well,
podcast.
we'll talk to you tomorrow.
So yeah, for me I can say, like Ezio once said, we work in the dark to serve the light, yeah? So we serve the light to give Ubisoft many new ideas to think about, and maybe some they could include. If some of the Ubisoft stuff, of course, watch this, our podcast, but of course we could speculate.
Yeah.
May
I
the
mean-
fans a rough understanding guide.
Just we had like 2 hours podcast, and if we had one advice to give to Ubisoft, would be have modern day.
Yeah, that's the main takeaway.
Yeah, and a direction and an end.
Yeah, it means that Assassin's Creed Rogue really. Assassin's Creed Rogue is like a key to understand everything we
Yeah.
it like liberates every ideas we had on the series, on the franchise.
What I like is that they're not saying how is Syndicate gonna be. Maybe they have another character, maybe we don't. Maybe it's just like Unity, we don't have a present day, a modern day history. But they're not saying there isn't. So we have hope. Maybe they have already changed, and
Yeah, hopefully
Well-
it will be a good one.
Yeah, we have to wait for Syndicate and then see like how
Wait
it
and see.
evolves.
Maybe we'll do another
Yeah.
debate to speculate on Syndicate, but it's kind of pointless because it's
Yeah, we
coming
could
in a
do,
few months
like-
now, in 2 months. So
Yeah, we
We
could
need to do
do
more
a
often,
review
man.
podcast for Syndicate.
yeah,
Yeah, we
For
should
2
do
hours,
these more
I
often.
think it's okay. Okay, so we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and
And yeah, sorry for making this long.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.